Good afternoon. Welcome to Options Center. It's Monday, September 16th, 2024. Welcome, traders. We're going to go through SPY on multiple time frames. Check out QQQ, IWM, reiterate what we're looking for. This could be a shallow pullback, but we're going into FOMC, and I think, we're pulling back now. There could be a little bit more to go, and then a lift off from FOMC. It's going to be very volatile, so make sure you have put protection on. After that, we'll go through BTC. We'll go through Bitcoin just to kind of show what trade we did on that. I do think that we're going to get a bounce there. So if you're new here, go down to the bottom right hand corner, hit that Options Center logo, and subscribe. We do these videos intraday. It's about almost 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to get these intraday, consider becoming a supporter. And I just did a video on Boeing with our trade alert on that. And you get those trade alerts whether you're supporter or individual analysis. But if you want the individual names that I do, then I think that's only $3. So yeah, good value. All right. If not, the videos come out eventually. For the market, they come out at 4 p.m. to the public, and then individual names, I'll eventually, after the move has started, I'll put those out. And, those moves usually aren't done, so they still are good to the public as well. Here we have SPY, 2000 top, 21 top, 24 topping. Okay. We're holding on to the trend line. We have 3 months in a row. Inside month here. Is this a tweezer top? Our month isn't over, so we'll see what we get going into, I think, the end of September. We could have our initial move down. That could be the beginning of October. But either way, we have all of our calls, individual names, out into October, and a few that we just added on going into the end of September. And then we'll be adding many puts on as price ascends as we get higher prices, okay? So on a monthly time frame, we still haven't had negative divergence play out. Tons of negative divergence, MACD, RSI, slow stoke. We got all of it. So that needs to play out. That's going to take years, months to years to play out, okay? So we're looking for a big correction. We have the weekly time frame. Let's go to the week. Just looking for possibly the top of the channel. I don't think the price will go up that high, but we're looking at an ascending triangle play setup here. And what I think is going to happen once we reach probably about 580. Yeah, I guess if we go straight up there in the next week or two, we can hit the top of that channel. Yeah. Anyway, that would be really quick and a big move, but that would be a breakout, so why not? And then I'm looking for a high to come in around 580. Where does 580 come in? Just stick around to the daily in the 65. Right now, we'll go to the weekly. We had the 21 correction there, and the retracements from that 21, we got through the retracements, price got over to make a new all-time high, and now we have the retracements of 127 was our first main target, and the last main target is 162. We hit those. Clearly, it's a place where price has given you, some supply, given resistance. Okay, but we're making a triple top here. Do we go down from here? That's possible, but I'm not sure that's what we're looking for. We have the 20 moving average on the weekly. We held on to that twice here, actually more during this run, but twice here in this pattern that we're looking at, and nice moves off of it. Okay, so we're back above that 8 EMA. We're in a bullish stance, not only on the monthly, but also on the weekly at this point. We're starting to deteriorate on the downside, on the lower time frames. In the weekly time frame, we're just going to get another divergence here. Okay, we have the negative divergence. We're going to make another one if we make a new high here. So we just got to be careful. Negative divergence is setting up for conditions for bearish conditions. Okay, we held on to, so if we're looking for a count, first of all, we have the beginning of October for some sort of cluster. I don't know if price is going to be up here October 10th. or if it's already going to be lower in October 10th, and we'll be looking for a high of prices up here or low right down here. So it's a time price relationship, okay? And if you're looking for a count, this is a good count to have that we like, and we've been using this for a very long time. We have a ending diagonal, a ABC for 1, ABC for 2, ABC for 3, ABC for 4, and we're looking for, this is an A. We got our B already. If B wanted to be a triangle or something like that to waste more time, B can continue to be anything that it wants, but at this point they're all zigzags. We have an A, B, and a possible C happening up into the 580. All right, let's go look at why this 580 is the target. First of all, we'll probably be the top of that wedge there, but we have a bullish falling wedge. If we make new highs, we will put a trend line down off of this low here. So keep that in mind. Trend lines, after you get a new high, we'll have another trend there, and technically the trend will be up. Now we're above the 8 EMA and the 20, so again the trend and the momentum is up right now, so nothing bearish about this. We'll just get more negative divergence after we get a new high, if and when. And we're getting this tweezer style top here, so maybe Tuesday, turn around Tuesday into Wednesday, perhaps we get down to the 555. I think that would be a good test of the low here before heading. We don't have to. We can take a pause and break out directly from here. So I'm not playing heavy positions to the downside, just kind of put protection to the downside that we have on. We're using the Qs. Clearly they're a little bit softer today, and that was the right move, and we'll be looking for the Qs to go a little bit lower. But after we get above here, if and when we make a new high, this is the confluence. This is the time and price we're looking at here at 580. Where do we get that from? We have the daily time frame. We had this correction here, this last correction that happened here in July. After that, we can now put our extensions up here. Our extensions I'll intertwine the use of extension and retracements, because technically it's just a retracement. It's 172% retracement and 162. So technically we can go all the way up to 600 and still be in a good position. But I think 127 is a little bit more appropriate after you get divergences on all time frames. So I have this labeled on this time frame of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't really matter. Okay. We break down, you can call this whatever you want. You can label it whatever you want. The structure doesn't matter. But like I said on the other chart, really, I think this is an A, B, and then we're getting a C, 5-wave move up. Now, what we have to be careful of, and we'll show you in a lower time frame, is the structure of this last move. It might not just be impulsive like this last one. It might just be losing momentum and eking out a new high here. Okay, so I can take out these retracements so far, kind of clear up our board here, and then we have some time references going into FOMC at the 18th. And if price holds up from FOMC, look at this massive cluster. That's the beginning of October, or even before that, the 28th, or even before that, but that would be a huge move. So getting into price at 580 with one of these time frames coming through, and we'll be looking for a major top. That cluster is very enticing, so maybe that is what we're looking at. So make sure your calls, if you are holding on to calls that deep, make sure that they engulf at minimum the beginning of October. Okay, so you don't lose all of your value in time on your options. I don't know if you're trading options, but you wanted to make sure, at least as price is moving up, roll out to after there. So that'd be called theta. So I'll put on there's the Greeks that matter when you're trading options. So I'll post that video up top and at the end. It's called the Greeks. We'll talk about theta decay, gamma, beta, all those letters. Let's go to 65. On the 65 minute, so we have another trend line that we're looking at here. Anticipation that we'll get a new high. Okay, and this looks like an inverse head and shoulder. I don't think that will play out fully. That would take us really, really high. And then maybe a cup and handle would be more appropriate. But then we have, this last move. So check it out. It looks like we have an ABC right now. Okay, so technically that looks corrective. And so it wouldn't be invalid if we just started our descent and our high is good from way back here. Okay, lower high, lower high. Technically the trend is in an equilibrium because we're getting higher lows and lower highs. So we're in a triangle. That's all that says. And if we break above, I think we're going to this 580 area. This is the time and price. And going over to the Fibonacci and Elliott waves, if this is an A, a B, and then we're looking for a 5-wave move for C, then I think that this could be a 3, 4. Maybe we get a low into FOMC and then we get a 5. Not sure if this could be done with an ABC. And that would mean that I'm going to use these numbers because I don't like this being a 1 anyway. So if we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here already, and this wouldn't be a 1, this would be, oh, this is all messed up here. This would be a 1, 2. This would actually be an A, B on this low, and then a C with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all on this last move, ABC and an impulse wave for 5. So that's a larger wave 1 if this is an ending diagonal. So after FOMC or before FOMC, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sharp pullback. If that does happen, this could be a straight line, to finish off this blow off top or so. If we get a little bit lower price here, I could see this being a wave 2, and then into a FOMC. After FOMC, having your wave 3, which would be a 3-wave move. These are all 3 waves. And then a wave 4, possibly crossing over wave 1. Doesn't have to. And then a wave 5 into the 580. Going into time and price, which is later in September. So we could make this more appropriate. It could even be October, but we'll put this out to, I think, the 28th or the 26th possibility. Being out a little bit further. And that would be the 5, a 5, a 5, a 5, a 5. All of the 5s for a very, very long-term top. Okay? So what we're looking for is 3-wave move up for 1, 3-wave for 2, 3 waves for 3, and this wave 4 could be tiny. It doesn't have to cross over, but if it does, it's still valid. Okay? So wave 4 into wave 5 for a top, into 580. Going on to the end of the month. And the reason why I think this drags out a little bit longer is because all of those meme stocks, all of the beaten up stocks are the last ones to get a pop. And so that's why we're playing a lot of those beaten up names. And even the meme GME, we have calls on that as well. If you want the video, become an individual analysis for $3, and the video is still up there. You can go see all of those videos. And so we'll be looking for those to start moving into this last hurrah. Okay. That's what I got for you guys on SPY. QQQ. Same thing, equilibrium. We're looking for a break. And the pullback, I think, could be as sharp as this support here going into the 460 as possible. So we may have just gotten the wave A today, and we're getting a little B, and perhaps it's a triangle or so going to FOMC and a C down to lower levels. So we'll have put protection on for that. And I did this on my phone, so it's much shorter there. Okay. So this would be the retracements if this is a pullback here into the 458. Could be 458 or could be 462. That'd be the 50 and 60% retracement. So this zone here will be the pullback zone. That's also the breakout zone. Okay, that was our high. We broke out from there. That would be a good area to test back here. And we talked about in the other video what the scenarios look like in the Q, so we're not going to go back over that. You can go on Friday's video. It talks about if this is a triangle, what happens, if this is a ABC correction and such. I just don't have time to go over that again today. IWM, we're waiting for this to break out. This could be a direct breakout. We'll see what happens with when rates cut. These small caps are just going to zip. So we have a nice big possible move here that's coming up with rate cuts coming on Wednesday, and we're looking for our target to be 235. All right, and I think the tech market will drag us down off of these highs, and I think we start our recession. So with and this is a really big move coming from 217 to 235 when you're talking about small caps. So this should help drag SPY up to get to its targets, while the Qs don't have as large of a move to go up to, but they do have a higher target, which still makes a lower high. So the Qs could easily just make it up to, we'll have to see where price is on SPY and IWM when we get up to the 786 and then possibly up to this 494. All right. We're definitely going to start adding on to some Qs. SQQQ. We'll probably have some duration positions, and I'll post what that means. Another video tutorial. We'll probably start adding in some very long-term 3 months out SQQQs for our down at here at the 786, and if we make price up here to 887, then we'll have much shorter term swings on that. Okay, let's go to quickly the VIX, and then let's end off with the Bitcoin. All right, so VIX here, we're anticipating that this might be another low, but really this is a triangle consolidation. These lows here had a nice move to the upside, and then a flag that with a fake break, and now this structure looks incomplete here. It looks like we have just kind of an ABC, but I think with the price going lower, we could tag this downtrend line here going into FOMC, but I think after that is when we make another low, possibly into the trend line, or possibly even lower than that, into some lower, if we break this low, that is significant, and that means that this will become a wedge, some sort of wedge. We'll probably have a divergence on the daily time frame, and that's how we'll look at it. It doesn't really matter where VIX gets. It's just in relationship. Is VIX at this trend line when we're at 580, that target on SPY? Then I think then that's it. I think this is going to hold, and then we start breaking out to much higher highs, much higher than this 55 area. Let's go to BTC. We're almost at 20 minutes, so I'm going to zoom along this. Not a whole lot of Elliott waves. What we're looking at is an uptrend here. We're barely holding on to the 8 EMA, the momentum indicator here on BTC. This is a futures. And we broke back down, a fake break from this high here. So we don't have to get higher, but I think we might have one more attempt to go back into this consolidation area before going lower. We do have negative divergence on that high there. We have the weekly time frame. On the weekly, we're holding that 50, but we're being pushed down on the 8 EMA. But again, I think this is we're going to have another attempt to get above this 20-week moving average. This is very bearish to be under the 20-week, but I think we'll have a last hurrah here. We possibly have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move down for a leading diagonal, and this could be expanding. This kind of an expanding move here. So we can draw that out. It's like a megaphone. It's like a megaphone top there. It could be a reversal pattern. And it would make sense to make a lower high and hit possibly all the way back up to the trend line here before heading much lower. Right now holding this 50-week moving average. Let's move to the daily. On the daily time frame, a lot of our lines have moved as the contracts roll over, but we have our initial move up. We're under the 200, just in a bear stance here, right? So, but we have these bullish divergences, and you know, on the MACD, I think you know, you see we're consolidating here. If we break down from here, that's even more negative. But I do suspect that we had a positive divergence that could have played out already. But this looks like a 1-2 setup or an A-B. It doesn't matter if this is an A-B correction or 1-2. Either way, it's the same setup. And I think we're holding on to this 55,000 area. And we're looking for a possible 1-2-1-2 setup here for an A, B, C. That C, again, could come all the way out to about the 70,000 once again, and that coincidentally would still be that downtrend line that we're talking about. So this is going to be a major area to get to. I think it fails off of here. I think this is a 1. All of this is a wave 1, and then a 2 setup for much lower prices. So and you can even argue that this will happen as an A. This is a B that sets up here, and then a wave C for much lower prices, and then Bitcoin starts to bottom for quite some time. It has a tendency to do that after huge moves to the downside, and people are scared of it, and then you know, this is where we'll be buying at much lower prices. I'm not going to go to lower time frames on the futures. I'm going to go to BITO, and this is kind of how we had our trade set up. So we have this falling channel here, this bullish falling channel. This is our trade setup. We're into BITO calls, and this is a possible 1-2 setup where they both come back to the 50 or 60% retracement. And we're looking for higher prices. If this comes a little bit lower, this is possibly something else where there's maybe a leading diagonal or something like that. But I do believe that this is an A, B, and now we're setting up some bullish market structure to break out from the channel and to start hitting those higher levels before breaking down again. Okay. All right. That's all I got for you. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like the video, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.